Hello, my name is Donna Ellis. I'm the creator of the Active Rest Fitness Program and Lifestyle, and I'm inviting you to meet me on the deck. Although we're not on the deck today, on the deck is where I help people get active for at least 30 minutes a day by providing workouts that fit any schedule and eliminate most of your excuses. I also help you prioritize rest and restorative sleep, to practice mindfulness in your eating habits as well as in your physical abilities. And I encourage you to build a community of support amongst family members, neighbors, and friends. If you have not yet found that support, I'm here to help you. That's what this channel is all about. Today's topic is all about, would you trust an overweight trainer or an overweight fitness instructor to help you get in shape? I'll tell you a little bit about where that topic came from. So I have recently started watching Kev on Stage. He is a content creator, comedian. He's all over the internet. I started watching his podcast on YouTube called Here's the Thing. And so I've been watching it, and so I got to where I just kind of got into it, and so I was watching some past episodes. So I'm back about a year now, and one of the topics on there was about this man. I can't think of his name, but he was known as the Liver King, I think is what it was. But he was like a fitness and an influencer, I guess, in the fitness realm, in the fitness area. And he would eat animal liver, animal testicles, things of that nature, and said that it helped him, lose weight. And then he started selling this product that says all of these things that I eat are now in a capsule. You can purchase this capsule and you can get in shape like me if you, take this pills, buy this product and use this product that I'm using. Well, it came out that he ended up getting sued because I guess somebody found out, or somehow it was found out, that he was indeed getting steroids, paying for steroids, and not, I don't know if he was never doing what he said he was doing, or if it was just in addition to the steroids. But either way, he was fit, he was in shape, and these people were thinking that, he's doing all these things to get in shape, when in fact he was doing some additional things. If it, in worst case scenario or best case scenario, maybe he was just doing something additional to these other things and had people fooled like it was like the eating of the animal livers and animal testicles that was helping him to be in shape. So then they got into a discussion. It was Kev on Stage and that chick Angel, who is his co-host on the show. They were talking about, from now on, if there's an instructor out there or a fitness trainer or a trainer that I'm going to follow, I need to see them get in shape. Like, they need to be fat first, is basically what they were saying. Like, I need to see them losing the weight. I need to see a before picture of them and know that whatever they're doing is working. And so, and they were just kind of going on about, you can't trust someone who's already in shape or who's been in shape all their lives, to try to tell you how to get in shape, because they haven't had to go through through the thing, to get in shape. And so that was one of the things that kind of struck me. And because it's also a topic that my husband and we kind of go back and forth on whether or not we trust fitness instructors or group fitness instructors, personal trainers who are out of shape. Now, one format that I teach is Extreme Hip Hop with Phil. One of the things that I loved when I was introduced to the program and introduced to the fact that they had certified instructors were that the instructors were of various sizes. And I mean, these folks can move, like, regardless of their size, they can, they could put on a class, they could work a step. And so, and it is a step aerobics class. And so that was one of the things that intrigued me about, that platform. But it's something that my husband and I, talk about as far as, trusting people who are overweight. Will you trust them with your, weight loss program? Would you follow their programs? Would you purchase from them if they are overweight, if they're not living the program, basically? And it's something that I've talked about with another instructor, a certified personal trainer here in the area. He talks about being the brand, looking the part. If you say that you're going to help people get in shape, you need to be in shape yourself. You need to look the part. So as a fitness instructor who is fully transparent in my, weight goals, weight loss, eating habits, whether good or bad, I try to be fully transparent because I don't do everything right. And so it just kind of led me to want to talk about like my fitness journey, because I have had some struggles with weight gain, weight loss, where, I tend to yo-yo quite a bit. And so I do have notes here, so you'll kind of see me looking down at my notes. And so I just wanted to kind of go through my fitness journey with you, or my wellness journey, whatever, however you view it. So first thing, I will say my wellness journey, or my first look into fitness, was when I was a kid. And it just came to me. Somebody kind of just reminded me of this lady here recently. She said that one of the first Black people, or only Black people, back in the day, that was like big into fitness, especially Black women, was Donna Richardson. And so when she mentioned that, I was like, I remember being a kid and we used to get the satellite and you could get like the fitness channels. And I remember seeing like Donna Richardson on TV leading workouts and hosting a show about fitness. And so she was so beautiful to me. And she was like one of the only Black women that you would see like with muscles and strong, but still very feminine, And so that was kind of like my first peek into fitness, is seeing that lady on TV. And I used to watch the show, as a kid. I couldn't really do this stuff, but I mean, I was young. I could do some of the things, but I had totally forgotten all about, Donna Richardson, and having found her, like as a young person, just kind of flipping through the channels and seeing that image. And you didn't see it a lot. You didn't see a lot of strong looking feminine women. And so, but I will say too, though, as a kid, I was not athletic. I was not very active. I was pretty lazy. So, athleticism, I'm surprised that I am a fitness instructor right now, because growing up, no one would ever imagine that I would first off be in military, like join the military at that. And then also to be a fitness instructor. And so, so that was my first glimpse into like the fitness world, was seeing Donna Richardson. And I was just reminded of that. And like I said, like growing up, I was a cheerleader in high school, but it wasn't the athleticism that you see with cheerleaders now. It's like just very basic kind of dance, doing a few cheers, things like that. We did pyramids, but the way that you see cheerleaders compete now, I was not a part of a team that competed in that way with that level of athleticism. And so I went to college. I wasn't very active in college, didn't do a lot, in college, but I remained slim. I was a very slim person. So I wasn't an overweight. I could eat whatever, I wanted to eat. Didn't gain a lot of weight. I was 112 pounds, 120 pounds up and through college, eating. Even with the freshman 15, I was slim. And just to let you know, I'm about 5'6". So that's kind of been my height for a long time. So I've been slim. So, so there's that. So when I really kind of got into fitness, when I really started, I guess, being serious about it, I kind of had to, because I joined the military at 25 years old. So that was my first like real interest, and it was more mandatory than anything into like a fitness program, because basic training. So we had to get up in the morning and be at PT, physical training, at 6 o'clock in the morning, out running. One of the things that surprised me the most about joining the military, and especially being as inactive as I was my whole life, is that I was really good at running. Now, I wasn't a sprinter. I was really good at running at, at a certain pace. So I was 25 years old when I joined the military. And so I could run pretty well. I could run a 8-minute mile. So to me, that's pretty good. It's not like the best, but it's faster than most, I do believe. I could run an 8-minute mile when I joined the military, just from, constantly running, every day, and with the weight training and strength training and stuff. The military trains you for that. And so that was one of the things that surprised me, because there are people who went through the same basic training that I went through that could not pass that. Now, what I did find that I lacked upper body strength and core strength. So I didn't have like the push-ups and the sit-ups. I was not good at, but the run I did exceptionally well at. But I did end up working on like my push-ups, and got to where I could do 70 in 2 minutes, and that was just from repetitive. It was like muscle memory. I did get better at some of the things. Now push-ups I'm still not good at. I'll attempt them, but I'm not good at it. So I was 25 years old in the joining the military. I was about 130 pounds when I enlisted, and so then about a year later, I was 25 when I joined, and then a little under a year later, I was deploying. So I wasn't in the military long, and I deployed, to combat. And so during that time, I stayed in shape. We would run, we would exercise, we would go to the gym. I did, I was pretty solid. I think I gained about 10 pounds during the deployment. I remember like wanting to get under 140 pounds before I left to come home for R&R, rest and recuperation, or something like that. I can't remember what the R&R stands for, but I wanted to get under a 140. So I gained a little bit of weight while I was deployed, but at 5'6", I was still, pretty small, still had a pretty small frame. So what happened, and when I started to really gain weight to the point that it bothered me, was post deployment. So I got home in 2007. So I'm 27 years old at this point. What happened post deployment was we came back home, and I started to eat all the foods that I could not eat while I was deployed for a year and for 15 months. And I just like Red Lobster was my spot. Like I was up in Watertown, New York. They had a Red Lobster. That was my spot almost daily. It was horrible. And I would eat those biscuits. Like I would eat so much to where for me, I didn't feel like I had a good meal if I didn't unbutton my pants. Like if I didn't have to unbutton my pants, it wasn't a good meal. And that's how I ate those biscuits. I ate that cheese dip. I ate like crazy, like all the fried stuff, and in other places too. But Red Lobster was it for me. Like that was the thing. And I ate out a lot. Like I didn't cook. I lived in the barracks. So I didn't have a kitchen or stove or anything. And I probably wouldn't have used it anyway. So let's be clear about that. But I did eat out a lot, and I gained weight. So I remember getting up to about over 150 pounds. And that's when it started to bother me. Now, mind you, now I look back at it, and I want to be 150 pounds now. Like, that's my goal right there. But back then, coming from 130 pounds to 150 pounds, my clothes are starting to change. I noticed I was getting like fine, like I was getting like a figure, but I was starting to creep on up to 160. And at the time, I think I had to be like 158 pounds. I can't remember the weight for height and weight, like to meet the height and weight requirements, because I dreaded getting taped. So I wanted to be within Army standards. And so I dreaded gaining, getting up to that 160. I really did. But that's kind of when I started to kind of dive into like dieting and things like that, because I started to get uncomfortable. I had to buy new clothes, which that was something I wasn't accustomed to. I was used to being small. So now my clothes are tighter, even though that's not really heavy. It felt heavy for me at the time. And so the first diet that I did was the master cleanse. So you remember when Beyonce did Dreamgirls, and she lost like, I think 20 pounds in 2 weeks. I think it's the thing, in 10 days or something like that, maybe. She did the master cleanse, and she talked about it, I believe, on the Oprah Winfrey Show. And so I tried that diet for 5 days. I tried it once for 3 days and then once for 5 days. And I did lose weight. Like within the 5 days, I think I dropped down 10 pounds, but it's a horrible thing to do to your body. It's something that I definitely would not recommend now, but that was like my first dive into dieting, was to try that master cleanse. You can look it up, and find out what it is on your own. I do not recommend you try that. It's a horrible thing to do to your body, is to do that. So I did end up losing weight. I lost about 10 pounds in 5 days. But of course, I went right back to what I was doing. So I gained the weight back. But that was my first, dive into like dieting. So then I continued to gain weight. Throughout that time, like I said, around that time I was 160, eating what I wanted to eat, not working out the way I needed to work out because of the job I had in the military at the time. And then boom, I get transferred. It's called a PCS, Permanent Change of Station, Duty Station. I got moved to the DC area, and I continued to gain weight because I had a little bit more freedom there as well. So I would gain weight, but it just wasn't a lot. And then it didn't bother me as much. I will say when it really dawned on me that I needed to lose weight, possibly needed to lose weight, was I was home visiting my family for a holiday. I can't remember what holiday it was, but I remember my dad kind of going into a diabetic. His sugar had dropped, basically. Um, and so he had like an episode, and he had them before, but this was my first time being home and witnessing it. And I knew that I did not want to develop diabetes and go through all of the complications that he was going through with diabetes at that time. And so I joined Weight Watchers. I went back to DC and I joined Weight Watchers, and I was about 31 years old. And so when I joined Weight Watchers, I was 176 pounds. And to me, that was heavy. Like right now, people will probably look at me at 176 pounds and be like, "Ugh, that's nothing. I wish I could be 176 pounds." But to me, especially at that time, because I'd never been that weight before, that felt heavy to me. And I was trying to get the circumference of my waist down. And so with diabetes, they say, especially if it runs in your family, that you should try to keep your your waist at your abdomen where it crosses your belly. But I'm looking up because I'm trying to think of it. Where it crosses your belly button should be half of your height. So if I'm 66 inches tall, that should be about 33 inches or less. That was just one of the things I had read. So I was trying to get that down. And so I joined Weight Watchers. And I had some really good success on Weight Watchers, right? So I would go to the meetings. I would do my little weigh-ins weekly. I was eating better or making better choices. I was still eating some of the same food, but I was, counting those points. So I was making some better choices. I started working out. Now that's when the workouts really intensified for me because I was in DC. DC is a very walkable, runnable, space area. And so I worked in DC. So we had a gym where I worked, and I would go to the gym, I would go to the sauna. I had a gym at my apartment complex that I would get up and use in the mornings, and my schedule just allowed for me to work out because it was a non-traditional schedule. So for about 2 weeks, I believe it would go two and two. So for 2 weeks I would have to go in the mornings, like early mornings, and then I would get off at noon, which left plenty of time for me to work out and go running and all that different stuff. And then the other 2 weeks, I would go in at noon and get off like at 6 o'clock. So it gave me a lot of time to maneuver and work out and make it to the gym and things like that. Plus having a gym at my apartment complex, having a gym at my job, and also being able to just walk out of my office, out of the gym, and you got a running path right there with tons of people. Like you're right at the mall, at the Washington, at the mall in Washington, the National Mall, where you have all the monuments and things like that. So I've run to the airport, Reagan National Airport. I've run to the Capitol Building. I've run to the White House. I've run to the Lincoln Memorial. Just leaving work and changing clothes and saying I'm going to go for this run. So it's very easy to stay in shape. Plus with the Weight Watchers and having that, that plan in place and doing the weigh-ins, that constant accountability, that helped a lot. And I think I lost, in less than a year's time, I lost about 20 pounds. Yeah. So I did pretty good. I went from 176 to just under 160. So about 158 before I started gaining weight. Now at that point, I was getting ready to leave the military, like leave active duty. And so, I moved back home, and that kind of took it was a transition for me because I had to find a job, which didn't take me long to do. But I also had to find a gym. I had to find a place where I was comfortable running and exercising and walking and trying to find that fitness routine that was so accessible, in DC. It was hard to do once I got home. And so I ended up gaining some weight, gaining some weight back. And I think I ended up gaining all of the weight. Let's be real. I gained all the weight back. So I ended up gaining, a good bit of the weight back. And it became when I turned 34, about a year after coming home, I found a gym. I joined the local YMCA. So that was very helpful in helping me like kind of maintain my weight, work on it and things like that. But then I got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm too heavy. I want to lose weight. Like once I get into that 170 frame, 170, 175, I get antsy and I'm like, okay, I need to lose weight. And so that's what I did. I put myself on my own program. I started running. Like I found a nice park. My nephew would go out with me. He would call me and ask me to go. He would take his bike. I would go for a run. And I ended up losing in a month time, like 10 pounds. And then gradually after that, like losing more and more weight. So I started that in 2014. I was 34, Labor Day weekend, and I was able to lose weight even through all the holidays. That's why I like to try to start a program around the holidays, because it's been successful for me. And so I ended up losing 10 pounds the first month, and then I gradually lost weight and was able to maintain it until April of the following year. This is 2015. I met my husband. And so I started gaining that happy weight, when you're in a relationship and I stopped going to the gym because I wanted to hang out with him because our work schedules were so crazy. We didn't get to spend a lot of time together. And so I kind of stopped going to the gym. Me and him, we would meet up and we would walk. He and I would walk and things like that because we're both active, and we met actually in a park running, exercising. So we're both very active. And, so I was gaining some weight, but I didn't let it get out of control. It didn't get too far out of control. We got married, and then I started gaining like that happy weight. It just kept kind of coming on me. I just didn't focus that much on losing weight. And then I'm trying to think, when was the next time that I lost weight? Like I said, I was gaining, but then I got pregnant. So I got pregnant in 2018. So fast forward, we got married in 2016. I got pregnant in 2018. And when I got pregnant, I was trying to lose weight at that time. I was like in the 180s, I believe. I had gotten into the 180s, and I was trying to lose weight. And I had done exercises where typically, and in eating in a way, where typically I would have lost weight, but I was not losing weight like I should have. And my sister said, no, she didn't say it then. I was like, I should have lost like a couple of pounds this week, and I didn't. Well, eventually, I missed my period, found out I was pregnant, and my sister said, oh, that was your body prepping you for that baby. So that's why you couldn't lose weight, because your body was, making a baby. And so got pregnant. I was about 100 and I had gotten on up to about 190 pounds. I think that's where I was when I got pregnant, about 190 pounds. Got pregnant, lost weight. How about that, right? Lost 10 pounds during the pregnancy and started to kind of pick it back up right when she was about to be born in 2019. I started to pick up a little bit. But as soon as I had the baby, dropped, a good 20 pounds real quick from maybe I guess maybe from breastfeeding. I started working out about 4 weeks when I was 4 weeks postpartum, I believe. I started going back to the gym, just doing light stuff, doing some walking with my husband. I think about 9 weeks postpartum, I had started back running a little bit, just trying to take it easy. And I was losing weight. I was doing really, really good until, so what had happened was I was losing weight. I was doing good. And I'm trying to think of how this went. 2019, I went back to work, right? I went back to work. That's what happened, because I was on maternity leave. I went back to work, got off my little schedule, started gaining that weight back. Wasn't breastfeeding as much, trying to pump as much as I could. I started gaining that weight back. I was eating out, going to the restaurants and stuff for lunch, eating on the run. It was just horrible. I was doing bad. So I gained weight back, the weight that I had lost, with my daughter. During the pregnancy and post-pregnancy, I gained it all back. And so lo and behold, right as my daughter's about to turn like a year old or so, COVID happens, the shutdown. Everything starts to shut down. And that's when things kind of changed for me. I got my notes. I don't know why I'm not even looking at them. Yeah. COVID shut down. A friend of mine, my neighbor, I had been begging her to come to the gym with me. She wouldn't come. She wouldn't budge. Exercise with me, she wouldn't do it. But when the shutdown hit and I couldn't go to work, weren't going into the office, she asked me if I would walk with her in the afternoons once she got off work, because she was still going in. And that became like just a group of neighbors working out. And then I started doing some pre-workouts prior to the walks. I started doing Tabata workouts, strength training, things like that. And then another neighbor joined, and she lost weight like quickly. And so another lady was like, I need to do what she's doing. So she started coming and doing the Tabata workouts before the walks as well. And so I like to say that's pretty much where active rest got started. That's kind of when it was, being birthed, growing in gestation, I guess, at that point. But during that time period, I just made up my mind and said, you know what? I got time. I got time in the morning. I'm not rushing to get to work. I got time at lunch. I got time in the evenings. I got somebody to work out with. I said, I want to lose weight. I'm going to try to lose weight. During that COVID shutdown, in the first year, I lost 30 pounds. The first year of COVID shutdown, like less than a year actually, I lost 30 pounds. And then later on, I lost an additional 20 pounds. So I ended up losing 50 pounds. And by that time, I had created Active Rest because I showed my results online and people saw them. And folks wanted to come and work out with me because I was losing weight. Like, I'm just running through the neighborhood. I'm getting smaller and smaller. And so people see that and they're like, hey, can I come join you for workouts? And that's really when I started Active Rest. All right. So for here now, I guess 3 years, I was running from 2021 to 2024. I was running Active Rest. My neighbors coming to work out with me. I'm a fitness instructor, but not like a certified fitness instructor, but like I know the rules because I study the stuff, So, and I had a great mentor. She wasn't my mentor intentionally, but she was a great mentor when I was at the Y. And so a lot of the things that she taught, that she would say, the things that she put into practice, I would do the same thing, here on the deck with the ladies working out with me. And so, people started coming, people started seeing results. It has been a great program. We've had, it's moved on from just my friends and family, the people in my community, the people that I knew from the Y. We've expanded. I have folks who come from, different parts of the Jackson Metro. We're in Jackson, Mississippi. Well, I'm in Clinton, Mississippi, but we're in the Jackson Metro area. We have people who come from all around, to come and work out with us. And so that's just how Active Rest Fitness developed. So now I get to the point where COVID shut down. I lost the weight. I got down. And then, like I said, I had a rough 2023. I talk about it all the time. 2023 was just, I was trying to think of things that happened. It's just a blur to me at this point. But I was gaining weight. I ended up gaining weight. I was so stressed out. I was so off my routine. As far as working out, as far as taking care of myself, I kept Active Rest going, I kept the classes going, but I was more in tune with taking care of my dad, that I did not take care of myself the way I should have, and I started gradually gaining weight back, and so it dawned on me, it hit me just this year, it's 2024, it hit me that I was, I saw a picture of myself. I saw a video of myself. I was doing a class and I looked back at the video and I didn't like the way I looked. And so I was like, I got to get this weight off me. So the highest I got again this year was 186 pounds. I got a call. I got a diagnosis that I was diabetic. My A1C was up. And from that moment, I decided to lose weight again. And so within 3 months, I lost 20 pounds. So that was April when I got the diagnosis. When I took the call and when I went back to the doctor, I talked to the doctor again, redid my lab work. In July, I was down 20 pounds and my A1C was down. Now, since July, I've basically been maintaining my weight. So I've been steady at about 166 pounds. With my last doctor's visit in October, my A1C has gone up a little bit. Just a tad, but we're still on a modified. I'm still not on medications for diabetes. We're still doing lifestyle modifications. So that brings me to now, December 1st. It's after Thanksgiving. I did not do what I was supposed to do at Thanksgiving. I did a very bad job of controlling myself and my eating habits. But I want to do better. I have a new goal. I want to get that A1C back down over the next 3 months. By February, like right now, I'm at about 166 pounds. By February, I want to be at 150. Want to lose about another 15 pounds or so by my birthday. And so I'm giving myself 3 months. I'm revamping my program, my lifestyle, because I also want to teach like nutrition coaching. I want to show my results. I want to revamp Active Rest into a 12-week program starting next spring. And so right now it's time for me to do the work, which is now bringing me back full circle to the to how I started the video. Is, would you trust your fitness instructor, an overweight fitness instructor? So here, you've heard my story. You see what I've gone through. You know that I yo-yo. I try not to go over 200 pounds. That's kind of like my limit. Once I start inching back up to like 180, 185 or so, I try to start getting myself back in shape and losing weight and revamping my program, my lifestyle. And so that's just kind of how I go about weight loss. I go about my fitness journey. I am totally transparent with my workout partners about the things that I go through. I do believe that they trust me with their fitness journey because they see what I go through. They see me gaining the weight. They see me also losing the weight. So I feel like they trust that this program works and they see the results in themselves. And so I am inviting you, as always, to meet me on the deck. You can find me on Facebook at Active Rest Fitness on Facebook. On Instagram, you can find me at activerest_fitness on Instagram, which I don't post to a lot. I got to get better at it. I say it every time. I also have videos, workout videos on this YouTube channel. I'm also going to come up with a video catalog that you can purchase to follow along with me and just kind of have your workouts in one location where you don't have to go searching for them. It'll be very structured. You will learn how to do workouts, properly, step aerobics, strength training, all of that good stuff. That stuff is coming. And that's just where you can find me. Also, we have virtual morning workouts. You can do them from anywhere in the world. You don't have to be here in Jackson to do those. You can just go to www.activerest.fitness/services. You can scroll down to schedule a workout and you'll see our schedule. I update it weekly because I don't like to cancel classes. So I update them week to week, but we have a pretty standard schedule. If you follow our Facebook page, I put the snapshot on there to let you know like what's coming up each week. And it's pretty standard. I might have to make a few changes here and there sometimes based on my personal schedule, but I try to keep it pretty standard. Keep the same time, same classes, every week from week to week so that you don't have any surprises. So I'm inviting you to join me, to trust me. Because you can see me actually do the work. You can see the weight gain. You can see the weight loss. My program works. I wouldn't tell you to do anything that I wouldn't do. So there's that. And I'm definitely transparent about, my ups, my downs, my eating habits. That's why you don't hear me preaching diets a lot. I say be mindful in your eating habits. You know what's good for you. You know what you can have. You need to speak with your doctor. You know what they told you should be eating. Like me. I know what I'm supposed to eat and what I'm not supposed to eat. And so I have to be mindful of those things. And so I just encourage you to do the same. I encourage you to build a community of support around you. Get an accountability partner. Make me your accountability partner. Come work out with me, sign on, log on, pull out your step, pull out your weights, work out with me. You can reach me also by going to www.activerest.fitness, hit that contact us, find that link. And, reach out to me if you have any questions about the program. If there's anything that you need, any other support that you need, let me know. Like I said, I'm that fitness instructor that you can trust. I've been heavier. I won't necessarily, I've been overweight for my height. They would say, according to the BMI, they would say that I was overweight. Okay. But, but I've lost weight. I've gained weight. I've lost weight. I know how to help you do that. So thank you for listening to this message. I hope that it helps you. I hope that you are encouraged. I hope that it motivates you. And I hope that you have a great day and a happy, healthy wellness journey as well. Bye-bye.